We
All
start.
right, welcome to the AdoptOpenJDK call. All right, so I guess I'll start off with the one item that I've been working on, number 283. This involves an Apache Ant error on Red Hat machines. Seems to affect all of our Red Hat machines, our test Red Hat machines. Currently, I can't figure out what the exact problem is. This code works perfectly fine in Ubuntu. I can run the Ant jobs myself manually from SSHing into the machine. But it seems like when the machines will run through Jenkins, it does not pick up the settings of the machine, and thus can't figure out where its jar files are. I've been trying to track it down using some of the built-in tools in Ant, such as noconfig and execdebug, which has showed me that mysteriously the default path seems to be /user. So I got to figure out how to change that and force that for Jenkins. Grant, how did your test in AWX go?
It ran. I need to pick the bones out of it to see if it actually did the bit I wanted. I'll tell you the story behind this. Is I sent Shelley an email yesterday because I had recollections of, in a previous Hangout, she'd mentioned she'd been having machine issues. So she asked me back whether the two work items I'd been working on, I'll bring up the email actually, it might be easier if I can find it, if I had actually finished them, and then she might then have some work to do on the back of that. So one of them was the one that I'm testing now. Hold on, let me just find Shelley's email. So I made some changes to the playbooks, and as far as I'm aware, when I tested them against machines I'd provisioned out of a cloud. They weren't the Adopt machines at all, and they seemed to work. The packages that were being installed were being installed. But I never ran them against the Adopt machines. So that's all that's left on those, is to run them against the Adopt machines. However, hold on a second, here we go. So I was adding XVFB as the one I was particularly talking about. So there were two work items. One was on all the headless Linux machines, and the other one was on Mac. I haven't done anything on the Mac playbook for XVFB, so I was just wanting to run the playbook against all of the machines to make sure those machines therefore have XVFB on them, so that Shelley can do whatever it is she needs to do. But as you pointed out, there's lots of tests running at the moment, so I can't just go blatting them willy-nilly. So that's the state I'm at now. I've tested them I'm running it on one of the machines, which I've taken out of Jenkins for the time being, one of the test machines, just to run it against that with a test in test mode. And that seems to run fine. But at some point, they will need to be run on all the machines live. But it's the opportunity to do that.
We do have another issue open. I can't find the ticket number at the moment, but it involves us running this on our weekly schedule. So that way,
yes,
all the playbooks will get deployed. We're looking to set that up to be triggered through Jenkins, so that way we know that the machine's not in use at the time that we're running it.
So Jenkins has the machine in use, therefore it doesn't put anything else on it.
And then it'll wait until it's available.
Yeah. Yeah, good plan.
All right. Adam, did you have anything?
Not infrastructure related.
Okay. All right. I know Stuart has a list.
Yep, got 2 or 3 there. Do you want to start going through them?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I guess the first one is George's been trying to change the machines from Ubuntu to RHEL 6 or CentOS 6 as far as possible. I think some of the architectures that's not available, in which case we've gone for 7.4 as far as I can tell. So yeah, that's kind of just going on in the background. It's obviously, there's a couple of other issues that has showed up as well. yeah, the GCC one, I suppose, is the first one probably to talk about. Obviously, we've put a symlink in place for GCC to point to GCC 4.8, and the default on the machine is normally 4.4. And as we discussed, Brad, the weekly update has splatted that back to 4.4 and overwritten the symlink we've put in place. So it's a case of, I guess, discussing on this call what we're going to do about that, which of the options we go for.
Yeah, I just recently updated the work item about 20 minutes ago. I don't know if you saw that. I agree that we should add a special symlink for GCC-4.8 on the machine.
Yep.
It's what we do also in Red Hat, so why not keep it the same across the board? That way, anytime you're looking for that specific version, you will find it. And then we can leave the regular GCC one as whatever the OS has deemed to be the default.
Yep. Sounds good to me. Yep. And then if we actually need 4.8, we can override that with the CC and CXX variables. Does that sound okay?
Yep, I like that.
Yep, let's go for that then. Sounds good. What's the next one on the list?
I thought that didn't quite work for OpenJ9 when you did that.
I believe they fixed that now.
Okay.
My understanding is that it should now work.
Okay.
I guess the proof will be when we try it, but I believe that issue was closed and that they did manage to put in the fixes to make it work. Yeah, the next one would be the Windows one, as to whether we need those things from MSDN or whether we can pull that executable that seems to be a free download on Microsoft's site. For some of the SDK, the debugger SDK, I think it was. Has everyone seen that one?
It's 243.
243, yeah, that's one. I think you've been involved in it as well.
Now, is
yeah, it's a matter of whether we can download and use that version from that download link instead of worrying about the MSDN subscription.
So it's one thing. So last time I read the license agreement on this, it's always a little confusing. But one may be allowed to download it and place it on your machine and use it. But it's another thing if you are kind of distributing it. I mean, through the playbook in a certain way. I just want to make sure that we're doing it right.
Okay. If it's being downloaded directly from Microsoft on each occasion, I would have thought that would be okay.
As long as we're not bypassing any login. So
yeah, as far as I can tell, there's no login on that at all.
As long as it's, Microsoft doesn't say you need to say yes to an agreement or something to download it, because we'll have to trigger that to the end user. Yeah,
indeed. Yep. As far as I know, the download is okay. I haven't personally downloaded and installed it myself, but I guess that's something we can have a go at. Because I know George was looking at potentially getting machines from Microsoft instead. Whether that would actually solve the problem or not, I'm not entirely sure, but he seemed to think it might have a shot. But if we're okay with giving that a shot, then we should go ahead with it for now.
Yeah, that was our thinking, is that we're trying to get Microsoft on board and provide us with some cloud machines that are Windows-based and hopefully also come with some licenses for MSDN, so we wouldn't have to worry so much about what we were doing. Yeah,
that would be nice. But again, having an alternative solution like this is also good for any end users that want to do it, who are not likely to have, or necessarily going to have MSDN subscriptions. Okay. Sounds good. And the other one was one that I just raised, which was the AIX machine. The last couple of builds of JDK 10 have been claiming they're out of disk space. Now we hit this again. The /ramdisk file system is basically empty. There's no files in it. If you do DU, if you do df-k, it was showing about 3 gig free. I did what I remembered doing last time, which was I ran umount on the file system, so umount /ramdisk 0, and then suddenly, magically, it fixed itself. It's now got 16 gig free again. So it's a little bit strange, but it seems to be something that has now occurred more than once. I'm rerunning the builds to make sure they go through okay now.
Yeah, it looks like the inodes have cleared up, which something might have been holding on to it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it would have been, though, and certainly not for that amount of data, because we're talking about 13 gig of data that is being held up. is a little bit strange.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to look into that and see what it's actually doing, and write some files to it ourselves as a test.
So I might leave that one open for now until we've got time to actually investigate it. Even though I've hopefully fixed the immediate problem on that one. So I think that's all I had anyway. So yeah, whatever else anyone else has got. I'll add some notes into all of those issues to see what we've discussed.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you. Did anybody else have anything else they wanted to bring up? Big silence says no. All right. Well, then I guess we can call this meeting to an end. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining.
Big one. Thanks.
Cheers, Brett.
Bye.